is Mr. Money in the Bank, Dolph Ziggler, World Heavyweight Champion.
This is what I love, but you know what? Sometimes things you love don't always love you back. And you can give, 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 and sometimes you get nothing. In return, you get nothing.
Why is it that Dolph Ziggler's name always comes up whenever people talk about some of the most underrated performers in WWE history? Despite being world champion twice, Dolph Ziggler was never handed the ball, even though he possessed all the tools to be a main event star. The man had everything: the looks, the athleticism, the physique. Dolph Ziggler should have been a proper main event performer. Sadly, that was never the case. Stop and start pushes and terrible booking resulted in a career that no talented performer should endure. At one point, it felt as if Dolph was Vince's punching bag. Whether it was putting over performers or losing championships at the wrong time, Dolph Ziggler's WWE career was a major what if. So today, let's look at how WWE absolutely fumbled Dolph Ziggler. Let's get right into it. Dolph's WWE career dates back to 2004, when he was part of the company's developmental territory at the time, Ohio Valley Wrestling. Dolph would soon find himself on the main roster, where he aligned with Chavo Guerrero, who was in his Kerwin White persona. Definitely not a great way to begin your main roster run. Dolph's main roster run truly got going when he became a member of the Spirit Squad stable. The stable is well known for being part of the feud between the McMahon family and DX. It's worth noting that while Dolph wasn't getting all the spotlight, he still made the most of the time that was given to him. He showcased his athleticism in the best way possible, and he had the potential of being a singles performer. After the stable was disbanded, Dolph had to return to developmental, and it wasn't until late 2008 that he was repackaged as a singles performer. The show-off persona paired with a catchy theme song fit Dolph perfectly. He came across as an annoying heel, and the fans were buying into that. Dolph proved to be an excellent in-ring performer when he feuded with Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship in 2009. The matches the two had were some of the best of the year, especially their SummerSlam opener, which is considered one of the best opening matches in SummerSlam history. Dolph would go on to have an on-screen relationship with Vicky Guerrero in 2010, and that was the year he won his first ever Intercontinental Championship. By the end of 2010, Dolph was inserted into the World Heavyweight title picture. Dolph had already shown that he could hang with some of the best performers in the company, but by having a great match with Edge for the world title at the 2011 Royal Rumble event, Dolph proved that a world title run was possible for him in the future. He did win the world title in an awkward fashion when the acting general manager, Vicky, stripped Edge of the world title and handed it to Dolph. Dolph ended up losing the title back to Edge on the same night. Some believe that Dolph's run was practically over, but the company did have plans for him as he went on to win the United States Championship that year. One of the many reasons why Dolph was getting chances and was able to stand out from the rest was his amazing ability to sell moves like nobody else. Most of the time, it felt as if a normal move literally killed the guy. He was so good at selling his opponent's offense, and according to Dolph himself, he believed that he needed to do that in order to impress Vince. Here's what he told Chris Van Vliet. "I go, no one is doing this. I am going to find a way. I'm going pink trunks, white hair, I'm going to stand out. And I go, I want to do things to where when someone hits me with not everything, but a finish or a secondary finish, it looks like I'm hurt for real. I want my boss, who booked me, to do exactly step for step to come back and go, 'Are you okay?' I'm like, 'I guess I'm really good at my job, bro.' But it happens so much, they're like, 'Are you okay?' I'm like, 'The fans are supposed to believe that I'm hurt. You told me to do this, like you should know.' But it was like I go, 'I'm really good at this.' 2012 saw Dolph being part of major storylines. While he was on the losing end most of the time, the company trusted him enough to feature him in major programs and world title matches. He faced CM Punk for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble and Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship at the No Way Out pay-per-view. While he didn't win those matches, Dolph did win the Money in the Bank ladder match for a World Heavyweight title contract. Despite being a heel, it was a feel-good moment to see that the company was pushing a guy who worked tirelessly to be in the main event scene. Dolph was also involved in a feud with John Cena, and he even defeated Cena in one of the most underrated ladder matches ever at TLC to retain his Money in the Bank briefcase. Dolph would finally get his moment on the night after WrestleMania 29 when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on Alberto Del Rio to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The pop he got was deafening, and just when you thought Dolph was about to get a proper run with the title, he lost the title back to Alberto Del Rio at the 2013 Payback event. Dolph didn't get to do much with the title as he was out with a concussion for the most part. The inconsistent booking Dolph was getting was incredibly frustrating. He was a main event caliber talent, and he spent much of his time chasing mid-card titles. The stop-and-start pushes were doing him no favor, as they can make fans not care about the talent in the long run. Dolph was also put in a position where he had to put over other talent. While there's nothing wrong with that, he didn't have to lose to most of the guys as he needed wins as well. Dolph revealed on the Eyes Up Here podcast that Pat Patterson was a big supporter of his, and Vince deliberately booked Dolph to lose matches as a way to rib Patterson. I got to a point where the top of the top, other than Vince, pulled me aside and said, "Pat pushes for you so much because he says such great things and sees such great things in you that we're actively ribbing him by having you lose every week." He laughed when he said it. I go, "That's funny, but that's my career where I already lose 80% of the time. Now I'm losing 95% of the time. Come on." They thought it was a cool thing to tell me. Even when he had to put over someone, Dolph did it in a way that elevated his opponent. Zack Ryder wouldn't have become a star if Dolph hadn't played his part the way he did in late 2011. The Miz's insane Intercontinental Championship run would have been incomplete without Ziggler making him look good. Otis was super over in 2020, and who did he have a program with? That's right, Dolph Ziggler. Apart from putting over others in the company, the creative for Dolph at times was just plain terrible. Most of his 2019 run, where he would utter, "It should have been me," any chance he got was enough for many to switch the channel. And don't get me started on that romance angle with Lana. Dolph, however, would showcase his excellence any chance he got. The performance he gave at the 2014 Survivor Series is nothing short of iconic. He and The Miz had an excellent program in 2016 that made fans care about both guys. His Intercontinental title run, tag team with Drew McIntyre, and feud with Seth Rollins from 2018 is super underrated. All of that should have led to bigger things for Dolph, but sadly, nothing came of it. Many believe things would have got better for Dolph when Vince left in 2022, but Dolph was never going to be part of Triple H's plans, as Paul was always going to go for younger guys. By late 2023, Dolph was released from the company. WWE dropped the ball with Dolph. Many would go as far as to say that Dolph should have left the company in 2019 instead of signing a new deal. Can you imagine if Dolph had left in 2019 and gotten over huge in AEW or even New Japan? He would have succeeded and fans would have been by his side no matter what. Just look at him now, he's thriving. He won the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship after leaving WWE and is the current TNA World Champion. Dolph is having the time of his life, but I don't expect him to return to WWE because let's be real, why would Triple H push Dolph when he already has a stacked roster? I'm happy for Dolph that he's doing well, but it's no secret that the guy was WWE's punching bag for so long. So what do you guys think? Did Dolph deserve better? Would he have been successful if he had been booked more consistently? Let us know in the comments below, and you might also want to check out our other awesome videos on the channel. Make sure to subscribe for more.